In today's tutorial, let me show you how to do this miniature pumpkin. This is the larger size of the two miniatures that we have here on YouTube, and this is super cute. We're gonna start that right after this. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the large pumpkin of the two miniatures that are here, and I see it right there. It only asks for one in this whole project, and we're going to be teaching this one here from this instruction right down to here. And we're also later on in another tutorial we're gonna do the smaller versions, which are even smaller, and you can whip these off pretty quickly. To play along with me today, you'll need a size G 4mm crochet hook today. You can use the Lily Sugar and Cream Cotton. Has all the colors that you need here in the pattern, but I'm going to be using the Bernat Super Value in order to do it. This color is actually called Pumpkin. So without further ado, let's get started. Grab your crochet hook and let's get this thing rolling. So let's begin. We're going to create a slip knot, and if you need help with any further tutorials, of course we have those here on YouTube. This is for the small pumpkin. So let's begin. It says to chain 4. Remember, size G 4mm crochet hook. Remember also too, the slip knot never counts as one. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and let's just join it to the beginning chain, yarn over and pull through to form the center ring. I know it's tight, but we need it tight for this particular project. Let's begin round number 1. Simply chain 1, and then inside the interior of the ring put in 8 single crochets. So just go right into the center and single crochet as normal and count those out. So it's 1, and we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And once you have your 8 done, just join it to the beginning single crochet with a slip stitch, and that concludes round number 1. Let's move up to the second round. Just chain up 1, and it says to put in 2 single crochets in each stitch going all the way around. So just starting right at the base of that one and put in 2 single crochets there. And I like to make sure I don't lose count, so I will count this. So I will say this is 1 even though I just put in 2 single crochets, and the next one I will say, after I get 2 done, I will say it's 2. Next one, after I get 2 done, I'll say it's 3 and 4, 5, and 6 for 2, and 7, and 8. And once you have that done, please just join it to the top of the beginning single crochet, just like that. Let's move up to round number 3. Chain 1, and it says to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and keep repeating that. So going into the first one, 1 single crochet, and then the next one will have 2 single crochets. Okay, the next one is gonna be 1 single crochet, and then the next one is gonna be 2 single crochets. Continue that same patterning going all the way around. If your counts are right, the last one will be 2 single crochets in order to keep it in balance. Just join it to the beginning single crochet. So that's what it looks like so far. So far it's flat, and I'm assuming that it's gonna start bowling up real soon. Let's begin rounds 4 and 5. They're both identical to each other. We're gonna chain up 1, and it will be 1 single crochet in each one of the stitches going all the way around. So we want to do that for rounds 4 and 5. So please do this for rounds 4 and 5. Just 1 single crochet into each, and then I'll meet you back up and we'll complete number 6. I've now completed rounds 4 and 5, so it's starting to bowl up just like this, and that's excellent. So now we're gonna start doing a decrease. So this is the halfway point in the pumpkin itself. So we're gonna chain up 1 first, and it says to single crochet 2 together and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2. So what this means is that the first one and the next one are 2 together. So let me explain that to you just in case. Insert your hook in, pull through, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull through, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that's it together. And then the next 2 are just 1 single crochet each, and then a 2 together again. So in, pull through, go to the next stitch, pull through, and then pull through all 3. Continue that same patterning, so it's 2 single crochets in a row and then 2 together, and do that all the way around. I'm coming up all the way back around. I only have 2 stitches left, and those should just be 1 single crochet each, and that should be in balance with your whole pattern anyway. So if that's not what you're ending up with, you know that your counts are wrong. Please slip stitch to the top of the beginning, 2 together, just like you started. Let's begin round number 7, chaining 1. So we're going to do 2 together for the first 2. So go into the first one, pull through, next one, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then 1 single crochet into the next. So the repeat pattern on this round is 2 together, so that pull through, go into the next one, pull through, and then the next one is 1 single crochet. Do that all the way around. I'm coming up all the way back around, and I should end up with 1 single crochet to finish, and then I just join it to the top of the first 2 together. Grab our stuffing and let's put a little bit of stuffing. Don't overstuff it. This is not meant to be an orange, so we want to kind of lightly stuff it so it keeps its integrity as a pumpkin. I've now added my stuffing in, and now it's time for the next round. So the next round, I think this is kind of tangled. Let me just see. Yep. I couldn't pull it through. That's how I knew that was tangled. So there we go. Good. So we're going to go up to round number 8, and round number 8 says to chain 1. It says single crochet 2 together 6 times. So basically at this point every stitch is going to turn into, every 2 stitches is going to turn into 1. So just going in to 2 stitches and make them into 1. Just watch that stuffing. It doesn't catch into the fibers of your project because it will stick out just like it does there. So you can kind of just clean it up afterward, but if you can avoid it, it's less work for you in the end. So just going 2 together each stitch, or for each one of these all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way back around. I just want to slip stitch, and now there should be only 6 stitches left. So the next one round number 9 is the putting the 6 together. So just chain up 1 first, and then the next 2 are 2 together. So do this for a total of 3 times, and that will bring it almost to a conclusion. And then we're gonna start doing the stem, which is really quite easy to do as well. So now that I've come all the way back around, I want to do just to fasten off. So this is the bottom of the pumpkin that we're finishing off. This is the top, and you can see it looks a lot nicer on the top side anyway. And I think it's just the way it's been decreased, and I saw that in other pumpkins, so I think it's just the nature of the beast. So we're just gonna trim the yarn, and I want to fasten this off. Now you can use a darning needle and really do a nice job at just kind of finishing this, but we still have a finishing technique. If you look at the picture, it looks like there's ridges of a pumpkin, and we're gonna be able to get that done. So I want to do a nice job on this, so I'm going to use a darning needle and just kind of just finish this off a little bit nicer than just kind of what I did. Again, this is where the creativity and the pattern kind of separates, so you can do your own thing if you want to. So we're going to do the stem next, and then we're going to then do the framing of it, which is kind of going to give it the ridges, because right now it just looks like a ball, but we want it to look like a pumpkin, and that will be done right after this. So I want to do the stem next. It's so simple, it's not even funny. I thought I was actually missing instructions because it's that simple. So we have to start off with I'm going to use a brown color, and it says the stem, and make 1 for each pumpkin obviously. So what we have is that we're going to chain 3. Remember that the slip knot never counts as 1, so 1, 2, and 3. Come into the second chain from the hook and slip stitch, and then come into the last last chain and slip stitch, and that's it. That is your stem. Isn't that crazy stuff? So I'm just gonna leave an extra long tail so I can sew it to the top of the pumpkin, but we don't want to sew it to the top of the pumpkin yet, and we can get rid of this nice end. So here is the stem, and you know what, it's in proportion to the pumpkin, so that just totally makes sense. So let's do the finishing technique of getting the pumpkin shape. I haven't done this before, so I'm kind of scared. So now we're gonna make the ridges of the pumpkin. So on one side I want to create a slip knot just to kind of secure it, And we're going to be using a darning needle for this, and then the other side is gonna obviously be the needle. So let's get in there. And I wanna come up from the bottom side to start. And so you can see how different it looks on the one side. This is what we finished versus the side that we started with. So coming up through the bottom up here, come right back to the top. I'm coming right into the center. And what you have to do is that you have to go around the pumpkin. Okay, so let me pull all this strand in, and I want to go through this slip knot, and that'll secure it, and I want to keep that slip knot underneath right here. I made this a little bit longer so I can hide that, and we want to pull this tight enough so that it gets a ridge looking shape. Okay, and it may take a little bit getting used to. Once you get that, then you're just gonna come up through the bottom once again, and it says to do only 5 ridges, so that was 1 of 5, and you can perfect it as you go. And now you're just gonna go down a side of a different part and then back up through the inside. Once again back to the top. And I'm coming up the same space just to be consistent. Okay, I'm reefing on it. So I'm gonna come up around again. This is gonna make it flatten off, as you can see. And I'm gonna come up through the middle and then tighten that one. Coming around. Again, this is up to your creativity. It says only do 5, but if you want to do more, and even if you want to change the tinge of your yarn, you could have done that too. I might actually do 6. And you can always shift these lines around too if they're not equal. And I notice this one's kind of loose, so I'm gonna go back over it another time with another strand. I don't think there's any crochet police watching me right now. I just tighten it off. And then I think I'm going to go right there. So make up your own rules when it comes to crochet, and this is kind of how you get that shape without any fancy footwork at all, and you can have a lot of fun with it at the same time. Okay, so once you get that done, so I'm gonna go back down through the middle into and I'm gonna secure it on the other side, the bottom side. Now this is my first one I've ever done, so I think I would assume that anytime I do the second one's always easier to make, and I know the things to look for. So I think that if I'm goofing off on this one, that I can always do the next one a lot easier. So I'm just gonna slide in my needle back and forth 3 times to secure it extra. So 1, and then I go in a different spot, 2, and go into a different spot for 3. And now I can safely trim that yarn. And now because I left the other yarn a little bit longer, what I can do, stick in the needle partially, and the idea is just to pull this straggler so it's through the pumpkin so the loose end never shows. Like this. And pull through. Okay, and I can always use my crochet hook to move stuff around if I have to. I'm gonna pull one of these strings. I did 2 here, and I'm just gonna pull it around a little bit like so. Okay, so now what I can do is that I can grab my stem and just put in my darning needle once again. And just go down through the center, right on the top side. It'll pull my stem in. And then I'm gonna come back up a different section. Sorry. Forget you were down there watching. And I'm just gonna grab the needle and just kind of poke it through somewhere else in the stem just to kind of secure it. And I'm gonna secure this back on the underside for obvious reasons. How cute is that? So now I'm just gonna come on the underside here and just kind of secure the string in. So this is used on a wreath. Most of the times that this kind of stuff in the back is never shown anyway, but the way that I'm doing it on the bottom side is that you could have it sitting somewhere too, and you, unless somebody grabs it and turns it upside down, they won't see it. And if they do grab it, it means they loved your creativity so much that they had to touch it. Just go for that. So now this other strand that I purposely left a little bit longer, I'm just gonna pull through the pumpkin. And again, I'm doing this all on camera live. I've never done it before, so I would think that if I was not on camera I could take my time a little bit more. So I'm just gonna pull this through. Okay, it's coming out through the bottom, and then I can just trim that. And that would be my miniature pumpkin, like so. So that concludes today's tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. This is the large one of the two for the miniature pumpkins. Until next time, we'll see ya. Bye bye.